All right, boys, we back for another one. We got Destroyer, Titania, and Shuri. Now, there is a few things I do want to talk about in this war. Like right here, I move up. Now, watching the top left corner, you can see I'm trying to back out. And it won't let me. Can't do it. I don't know what was going on. I finally go out, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Kind of annoyed. I back out. And I have that problem for the whole war. At first, I thought it was my phone. But another guy in the alliance had the same problem. Once I go into a fight, it won't let me back out. And you'll see it happen again later. But first up, we just got this Rentra. We're using Titania. I'll get reduced parries, but I mean, that's fine. Rentra's heavy, easy to counter. Just like that. And I take this fight a little bit slow. I don't rush it. I did kind of medium boost. Just did the 3 normal ones. And yeah, there's really not much to this fight. I do think at one point I let Rentra's charges get up, but there's just not much scary in this fight. I mean, I'm using one of the best counters you can. Buff immune. No MD. So we throw off the L3. And you can see right there I let the charges. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. Kind of messed up, but whatever. So now we do the exact same thing. But I knew I had the Haymaker on. So I was like, well, let me go for that second one. Because I really wasn't worried about dying. As long as I didn't miss the L2 decks. Now that might have hurt a little bit. And I thought that special was going to kill, but it didn't. At this point, I just want Rentra to die. Thank God. But one of the things I do want to showcase in this video is this next fight. I brought Destroyer specifically for Hulkling. Because when I parry him, Hulkling should get a pierce. But he don't. Destroyer just turns it into rubble. See? No pierce. And without pierce, he can't go unblockable. See? Nothing. So we are just going to throw L1s. We're going to ramp up a little bit. And see? Another one. Indestructible. Practically not there. It might have triggered for like half a second. But I do need him to throw this. There you go, buddy. There you go. Come on. Play nice for Daddy. Yeah, play nice for Daddy. Daddy likes it when you play nice. So we get our 4th Fury. We're going to throw the L3. And then we're going to go to the L2 and the fight should be over. I do find Destroyer to be the best Hulkling counter. You want to argue with me, you're welcome to lose. I'm just kidding. He might win. I ain't all that bright. So he might win. But yeah, I mean, it just kills. He really is an amazing Hulkling counter, and I did want to showcase that. Now we go on to a Doom, this is really why I brought Titania in, which I just happened to use her for Rentra. I think it was last season. I was doing a bunch of dumb shit. And I thought I could nuke it. Who did I bring in? I think I brought in Sunspot. Just trying to nuke it. And when I say it went poorly, that is like the understatement of the year. I did die. I gave up a death. But I ran out of charges. I couldn't get a crit because of Doom's crit resistance. Oh, it was a mess. So we brought in Titania because, again, she's an ideal matchup for this. I mean, not even this old redneck can mess this up. You know what I mean? I have to give myself foolproof fights. About the only way I can't die. Yeah, I think I wanted to push him, empty his power out. Yeah. And then I'll use my L3. That way I can get more haymakers in with little stress. And that's what we do. We throw it now. We're just going to heavy in the corner 3 times, which it will push him to an L2. Oh, no. He decided to throw it. Oh, okay. You want to be a douche. Okay. So, because he wanted to be a douche, I was like, well, let me go smack him in the face. Yeah, there's really not much to this fight. At this point, I think I'm just making shit up. Man, his crit resistance really is really good. But now we go in and we close it out. And that's that. Not much to my path fights this war. We go to a Domino. And you'll see me move very fast because I can't back out. So I'm like, well, if I can't back out, I guess I'm just in it to win it once I get there. You know? So we're going in with Shuri. Shuri counters Domino in this node very well. The only thing you really have to worry about is prey on the weak. She will kind of gain power as you go, so you kind of need her to throw specials, and you need to be baiting out the specials. That's the danger of this fight, is the L3. But outside of that, I mean, she just starts dying really quick. Once I get to that L1 and now I've got these crits, like, she goes down. Okay? Good. Throw that L2. Titania. They playing nice for Daddy this war. Well, they are now. The next fight doesn't play nice at all. Not at all. And yeah, she's dead. Like, that's it. But now, we're going to show you how Destroyer can die. So, I go to this Gorr. And I've taken it with Destroyer a couple of times. Not really had much issue there, as Destroyer can take this fight. You can see I'm trying to back out right here, and I can't. I'm hitting it, nothing. So I finally go to the home screen, able to kind of back out that way. It was the only way I could find. So I go into it, and you can see I'm like, okay, well, for my next 3 fights, let me boost up a little bit bigger. I throw on some Mystic Boost. And I think I use a Power Start 1 for this fight. I like to use it for this fight, and I use the first L1 as the knockdown to go in and get that on cooldown, is how I do it. Or that's how I like to approach it. Make sure he's topped off. And we should. Man, I don't know what to do not having all this time to kill. Checking boost, it really throws me off. So we get the parry. Throw the L1. And you'll see coming shortly, I make my fatal mistake. I hit into block to build the prowess. Throws his L1. Look, everything right now is looking great. Okay? Trying to get him to throw this L1 so I can get my next Fury. And I throw it. I'm like, okay, good. I refreshed him. And I think it's right here. He catches me. I now have 6 degens and 3 shocks. And I'm just ticking at this point. I mean, I'm already down to 60%. So I'm like, okay, all right. Let's throw the L3. Let's start getting our damage going. So we throw the L3. Okay, now we're getting to the L2. But protection comes back, so I have to use the L2 to get it down. I'm throwing the L1, and I just get ticked down. I got caught rushing. The fight was in utter control until I got caught on the dash back. And at that point, when you have 6 degens and 3 shocks, it was just ticking me down too fast. Before I could kill him. Which is aggravating. Because it would have been a solo otherwise. I really believe it would have. Again, I'm backing out. I don't know why. It just wouldn't let me. Unfortunately, I do have to heal him up. He is taking my next 2 fights. So I'm gonna go on and heal him up all the way to full, and we'll just go on and close it out. Because I mean he's about dead. He's at maybe 20%, 98k health left. It was aggravating that I got caught on the dash back because it really ruined the fight for me. But I still do have my Power Start 1 active, so I go on and throw it. We get a nice little intercept there. And now that I've died, he's playing really nice. That's what the AIs like to do. They want to kill you first, and then they're just going to be your best friend. But I parry heavy to get the knockdown, so I get that protection on cooldown. So my L3 will do its maximum damage. Alright, sorry, I had to let the dog out. And yeah, that kills. Should have been a solo. Really should have been. But next, we're moving on to this scroll. It is Hazard Shift, and I think it's Bleed and Shock, which I'm not going to come in with any Odin pre-fights. Destroyer is immune to the Bleed, not the Shock, so I will have to play around it a little bit. But I'm not that worried about scroll. The main thing, as long as I stay on top of my prowess and keep them up, should be fine. Obviously, watch out for the falter. So here we go. It goes in shock first, so I'm just hitting into his block. I'm using this time to build up the prowess. And, I'm getting a really good AI. Because this also has Conflictor as well. So I want to keep my prowess up so I want to have at least 3. That way I can keep it off for the whole fight. So we've got 1 Fury up. We've got 1 L1. The Falter's up. So I want to parry. Okay, I just hit into his block because Shock's up. Now, the trick with this is you want to kill sometime, but not too long, because you still want to keep your Furies refreshed. And that's what I do. And then we throw the L3. And now the damage is going to get rolling. Yeah. Now we in business. Yeah. We starting to cook now. You can see the L3 does a good bit. Parry, get to the L2. Almost killed him. But with power backs, we get to another one. And yeah, the D-gens just tick him down. I went to go hit into him to get the falter off, but he dies. The D-gen really does actually pretty good damage. It really does. So now we go to our last fight, which is this Adam Warlock. And I'll use the same strategy I did last time. I'm going to use an invuln, push him to L3, and dare that, just with the attitude of, man, I wish a motherfucker would. Like throw it. I want him to throw L3s. That's my goal. And this one goes way smoother than my last one. This Destroyer really is pretty good for all these cosmics. The Gorr fight's probably one of the harder ones, but same strategy. Just let him throw L3s and stay on top of the prowess. And that's what we do. Parry, couple hits. Parry, couple hits. I don't really want to be dexing back and hitting into block if I don't have to. I'm not a big fan of that strategy if it's avoidable. In some cases, it ain't, but in some of them, it is. So right here, I see that Vigilance was coming down. So I kind of waited to throw my next L1 to the end of it. That way, it would trigger the falter on him. And yep, right here, I push him to that L3 with my L1. And I think that got me my 4th Fury. Once this animation ends, I'll look. Yeah, it did. So now we're just building up to the L3. And now, I mean, he's already at 60% before I ever got to my L3. We throw it, then we're going to throw the L2, and he should be about dead or he does die. Let him dash in. Okay. Dex it. I don't care. You still died. That's the good thing about his specials. They kind of are unblockable. The last hit is, so it'll hit. And he dies. It was that simple. Overall, not a bad war for me outside of one little mistake in the Gorr fight, which was unfortunate. But that's it from me, folks. Peace.